Hi guys, welcome to Salesforce Troop, and in today's video we learn how to add icons to LWC Lightning input. And many people have asked me recently how we can add the icons, how we can hide and show the password on click of an icon. So everything I'll cover in today's video. So let's go to our VS Code and create the component first. And I'm in my VS Code, my project is already set up, so let's go and create the lightning web component. So you can go to command palette by pressing Ctrl Shift P or Command Shift P, and here you can search for create lightning web component. Select this option and you can give a name input icon and hit enter. Take the default path and your component is ready now. And in the HTML, let's quickly create a wrapper so that our component look much cleaner. So the wrapper is nothing, it's a lightning card that we're gonna create, and we'll give the title LWC lightning input with icon, and this will be our heading. And the card, inside the card will give some padding so that our content not touch the boundary of the card. So I'm saying SLDS variable p around medium, and that's it. And our card is ready. And here for time being I'll just simply print low, and in the meta configuration we'll go and we'll make this is exposed to true. Then we'll add the targets, and in our case right now I'm using only one target, that is lightning home page, but based on your need you can change it to app page or record page. And let's keep the JS file empty for time being, and right click and deploy this source to org. And now it's deployed. Let's go to our Salesforce org, and I'm in Sales app. I'll place it here only. So I'm in home page. I click on the gear icon, select the edit page, and now on the right hand side I'll search for my component name, that is input icon. I'll take this component and place it on the top right hand side and save it. So the first task that we are performing is just creating a component and placing the component on the page, just to make sure our component is placed successfully. So let's go back. Now we save the component, we place the component. So now it's taking us back. So now you can see that our component is placed perfectly, and I can zoom a little bit. Now it's looking better. And now let's go to Google and search for lightning input. So we'll type lightning input and select the first option, lightning input. It takes us to the component library of Salesforce, and on the right hand side quick find you can type input if you will not get anything specific to input. And now I'm already in the input section, so I'll take the code from here, and we'll take by default the text one. So from the drop down select the text input. I'm just showing you the approach how I just copy paste instead of typing it. So we'll take this option lightning input, and let's go back to our VS Code, and instead of hello world, this hello text, will place that lightning input. It has a type text, has the label, enter some text, will make it email, and value for time being I'll remove it. We are not gonna bother about value in this demo. And our input is ready. We have a type and label, that those are the mandatory field. And now I want the icon to be placed here, and for that I'll use the lightning icon. And if you want that to be copy pasted, we can go back to the same place and we can search for icon. We'll take icon and from here you can pick any of the icon and paste it there. Close this. And for the icon name, for time being I can use utility colon email. That's my icon name. Alternative text I can give email. Title I can give email. And my icon is there, my text is there. Let's deploy this and see how it looks. So now it's deployed. Let's go back and refresh the page. And now you can see that our input field is there, our icon is there, and icon is very big. So first let's reduce the icon size. So there is a property on the lightning icon. So we'll say size equal to extra small and deploy this again. Let's go to Salesforce, refresh the page. And now we have the icon, but this icon should come within the text box. So now we'll do right click and let's play in the debugger itself to bring that icon to the left hand side of the form or the field. And I'll just increase this, I'll zoom this as well. And now I'll take this left hand side selection tool and go to my icon. And here I'll look for the lightning icon. And what I'm gonna do is I'll change the position to the absolute so that it's just moved one stack above. So just on the right hand side, let's type position absolute. Then I'll say top 10 pixel. Or instead of that, what we can do is, if you want to control the float of an icon, make the parent relative. So we can make the parent relative. And before that, there is one cool trick. Let's wrap this icon and the input field with the div first. So we'll create a div and place our input in the icon inside this. And we'll make our wrapper a relative. So there is a class in the SLDS library that gives a position relative. SLDS is relative, and let's deploy this. Let's refresh the page. Now let's write the styling again. Let's select that selection tip and just go to the icon and look for the lightning icon and give a position absolute. Then let's change the bottom to 0. Now this icon went behind the input field. To make it visible, let's add some z index. We'll say z index 1. Now you can see that icon is at the bottom. We'll give left 1 pixel so that it's not cover the border of the input field. And apart from this, what we can do is we can give display flex, align items center, justify content center, and let's give a height 30 pixel and width 30 pixel. Now your question in your mind may be how you know this height and width, what height and width we should give. So to check that, what The easiest way is you can hover over the input field. So we'll select the input field here. We'll go inside the input field, look for the exact input type and check the computed value. So here you can see that the height of the input field is 30 pixel. That's why I have given 30 pixel height and width to my lightning icon. And now it's perfectly aligned. And if you want the same icon to be on the right hand side, we just have to convert this left property to right property, and you can see the icon moves to the right hand side. Let's copy this styling and let's go to our VS Code. Let's create a CSS file within our component. And as you know, CSS creation is manual, so we'll select the folder, create a new file with the same name, input icon.css, and here we're gonna create a class. We can say input icon, and we paste everything that we have copied. And let's create two more classes, right icon and another one is left icon. And when the left icon is there, we'll take this right property and place it inside the right icon, and for left we'll change this right to left, and this style will be remain same. So position absolute, bottom 0, display flex, justify content center. This is the styling that we are using to place our icon to the center of the input field. Instead of using these custom CSS, we can use SLDS classes. It's up to you. And let's go to our input field and use these classes. And we have said, I'll just wrap this out, and here I'll give a class input icon and right icon. So I want the icon to be on the right, and let's deploy this now and see whether it's placing the icon to the right or not. So it's deployed. Let's go and refresh the page. Let's close in meantime debugger, don't need right now. And you can see that icon is placed perfectly on the right location. Let's go and change this right to left, this class. And deploy it. And I refresh the page, and now you can see that our icon is on the left hand side. Placement of icon is working fine, but there is a problem right now. If I click here and start typing something, the text is coming behind the icon. If I am typing hello world, you can see that H is hidden behind the icon. You can see here. Now the problem is, icon is placed on the top of the input, but there is no padding on the input field. And we are using the Salesforce standard component, that is lightning input, that is using the wrapper or basically a shadow DOM behind the scenes, so we can't update its styling directly. So here there are multiple ways. There are some dirty ways of using a shadow root dot or doing some inline query selectors, but my preferable way here is to create a input.css and deploy it to the static resources and use the static resources inside your component, and I'll show you now that approach and how we can override that padding. Before that, I'll show you how we can avoid that. Here, if I inspect this element and I'll go to a lightning input, and if you see our lightning input, this is our lightning input. Within the lightning input we have an input field. We don't have a direct access to this property, but if we deploy a CSS globally that override the styling of this SLDS input, we can control that. And if I give some padding here, padding left 24 pixel, now you can see that my hello world is visible properly. So now our task is to override this class, that is SLDS input, and we have to override this class in a way it should not impact any other components. It should only affect the styling that we are applying to this particular component. So let's go and see how we can do that. So first, create a file at your desktop outside this project. Name can be anything. I am using a input.css, and what we're gonna do is we are going to override the class. So the class name is .slds input, and what we want is the padding left be 24 pixel, and instead of hard coding it, we can use the token as well. So you can use spacing large, or you can use a variable way, that is var -- lwc var spacing, like this, not like this, like this. And similarly, if you want to be on right hand side, we can just change the position to right, and the spacing will be same, and it's a 1.5 rem spacing, and which is approximate to 24 pixel. Now, but if we deploy these classes, right, SLDS input, it will override everywhere in the whole application wherever we are using this class. So we have to do a selector CSS, so that will say whenever there is a class icon right or icon left, and within that icon left there is a class SLDS input, then only apply this styling. Similarly, for another one, we'll say whenever there is a icon with left or right, sorry, icon right class is there, and within that there is a SLDS input, use this padding right. Now if I hover it, it's giving us a warning, this selector override the styling from the existing SLDS class, but that's what we want to do. But we are controlling the impact using this particular class. So whenever SLDS input comes inside the icon left, then only this styling gets affected. Okay, so now we have this input.css. Now you have to deploy this input.css to your static resource or upload to a static resource. For that, I'll go to quick find and search for static resource. And click on static resource and click on new, and give the name input. Choose the file where you have placed it from the desktop. If it's on desktop, change the cache control to public and hit save. I already uploaded it, so I'll click cancel, but you guys have to upload it, and I can show it how it looks like after uploading. I already have an input file here, and that is text/css. So make sure while you're saving your file, its name should be input.css, or basically the extension should be .css. So now we have uploaded it. Now I'll go back to our component, and our component is input icon.js, and here we are going to use that file, and to use that we need a load style method that we will get it from platform resource loader that help us to load the static resource. And in the static resource we are using load style just to load the css file. If we want to load a javascript we would have used load script. And now we will load this css under the render callback, and we can use it in the connected callback as well. And we'll take the load style, then we'll give the reference of the component this, then we need the file name. Let's import the file, and the file name is input, so we'll use import input from at Salesforce resource URL input, and we'll pass this input here, and it will load our file. And if you want to make sure it's loaded, we'll put then, and we'll print in console files loaded successfully. And if it fails we can put the catch block. We'll see if error comes, console dot error, print the error. We are doing the error handling here, and let's utilize the classes that we have added there. So we are saying our class's name is icon left, if you want the icon to be on the left hand side. So I'll take this class icon left and apply it to icon as well as on my lightning input, and I'll copy paste this block and paste it just below here, where we'll create a password field. And the password field is there, and here I'll change the title to password. We'll change the label to password, not the title. Title will be, we can use right now email icon only, so let's keep the title email only, because we'll come back to the password icons. And change the type to the password. So we have an input type password, label password, and we have given a class icon left, and to the icon lightning icon we already given input icon and left icon. And let's go and deploy this. Let's see how our input field looks like. Let's refresh the page. Now the page has been loaded. Let's go to console and see whether that message is printing or not. Right click inspect, and let's go to console. And it has printed the styles loaded successfully, and here it's coming correctly, email and password. So our style is loading. We have email. Now if I type something, it's not coming behind the icon. Now it's coming properly. You can increase the padding based on your requirement, and the password is coming also perfectly fine. And let's go back. And one quick thing, I just realized it should be connected callback, and I don't know why it was working with the mistake as well. Let's fix this, and just make sure guys you correct the spelling. And now the styles are working, everything is working. And let's try the right side icon. Let's change the left icon to the right icon. So let's change this to right, and we'll change icon right and right icon, and we can give the same name. Actually we have given here left icon left and icon right, so in our css also we can give icon right and icon left, so that it will be consistent. We'll say icon right and icon left. and here we'll go to CSS, and here we'll change that as well. Icon left icon become icon left, and it will become icon right. Okay, now our form is working fine with the icons and it's looking good. Now the next task is, the many people have asked me in their project, they have a use case that lightning icon with basically the lightning input field of type password. There should be an eye icon, and on click of that eye icon the text should be visible. To solve that issue, that's what we can do is we'll go back to our JS file and let's create a property called show password, and I'll initialize this property with the false value, and then we'll create a getter here and we'll say get password icon, and this password icon will return the icon dynamically. We'll check if show password is true, then show an icon utility hide, and if the password is hidden then show an icon utility preview. Just copy paste that icon name, and we'll use this password icon to our HTML. We'll say this email icon for the password should change to password icon, and based on that value it will toggle. And what else we want is, when you click on show password, our password should be visible, not only the star 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 comes on the field. And for that what we can do is, there is a very simple trick here. Again we'll create a getter, we'll say password type, and we'll check, we'll say return, we'll check this dot show password. If show password is true, then we're going to make the password type text, otherwise we'll make it password type. And here the password is there, then make it, my laptop is quite slow today. So we have written show password is true, then make the password field type as text, otherwise password, and we're going to change the type for the password field in the HTML. Basically we're going to use this getter there, and I change the type to password type. And now we want, on click of this icon, the type should toggle as well. So I create a on click handler, and we'll go to JS and create this method, and here we'll, below the connected callback, we'll create a method password handler. This will just change the value of show password to true and false. So we initialize it with the value false. If you click on the icon password, this show password become true, which means show the password. As soon as the show password become true, the input type become text, so the text whatever we have written in the password field become visible to us. So let's go and deploy this, and if you notice our icon is right now icon right, so our icon should be placed on the right hand side, and we'll test this as well. Let's go to org and refresh the page, and now you can see that our icon to the right hand side. And let's type something in our input field. I'll say nick@gmail.com, and for password I'll say hello world, something I have typed here. And if I click on this icon, you can see that the icon changed, and icon got the slash, and the password that you have written is visible. And if I click it back, it's hidden again. And we can change the title, because on hover you can see it showing us the little bit email, so that is coming from the title. So we can change here to password this title, or even the alternative text. All these things we can change. This is helpful from accessibility point of view. So I have changed both of the texts, alternative text and title. And now let's do the last test. Let's change the icon right to icon left. Let's change it both places, left, 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 and here as well left. And let's deploy this. And the way we have write down the solution, it's totally responsive and it will never break on shrinking the screens and all, so you don't need to worry about it. Let's go back and refresh the page. And now you can see that by only the changing the class name, our icons are moving perfectly fine. And if we are typing, and it's working fine here as well. And I'll just type something. If I click, and visibility of our password is toggling perfectly fine. So that's it for this video. And guys, if you have any problem statement, please let me know. I would love to build a video on those topics as well. And please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.